Pikmin is one of my favorite video game franchises of all time. There's no other game series like it in my opinion in terms of ideas, characteristics, and style and tone. While we were waiting for Pikmin 4 to come out, I thought it'd be fun to do a little retrospective on the series. Pikmin 1, Pikmin 2, and Pikmin 3. Not Hey Pikmin, sorry to the whole 2 fans of that game, but I don't have a 3DS capture card, and honestly, I don't like to consider that game a mainline Pikmin game. Also, I know the Ant Dude YouTuber guy is also doing this. Bear with me. We planned this at the same time. My bad. I'm not trying to copy him or anything. Pikmin released for the Nintendo GameCube in 2001. The technology that served for the basis of the series can first be seen in the tech demo Super Mario 128. This was actually a pretty neat tech demo that had technology that was later used in Twilight Princess and even Mario Galaxy. It was used to demonstrate the power of the Nintendo GameCube, showing how many models could be rendered on the screen at the same time. This project was later turned into Pikmin. There's 2 versions of this game, the GameCube version which came out in 2001 and the later released Wii version that implemented new motion controls. I actually like the pointer controls a lot better. I think they make the game a lot more fun and intuitive. You can also go back in time to previous save states and the game is in widescreen. Plus, you can switch out the game artwork. I'm a nerd! Pikmin follows the story of Captain Olimar. It's a simple story, nothing too complicated. He's traveling through space, minding his own business, when one day he's hit by an asteroid and crash lands onto a mysterious planet. Here he thankfully finds an object he calls an onion, which mysteriously sprouts a creature he dubs Pikmin, named after a snack on his home planet, Pick Carrots. Thank God Olimar landed in this particular area. I mean, there would be no game without it. Olimar soon learns that you can use this Pikmin to sprout other Pikmin, with the pellets around the base. Putting these into the onion gives you, like I said, more Pikmin. With teamwork, the Pikmin push the box and carry back the ship's engine, making you able to fly back and collect the other parts before your 30 days of oxygen are up. There's 30 in-game days as I mentioned earlier, and each day takes about 13 minutes. Some people don't like this challenge, they think it restricts the game and puts it on a time limit that doesn't need to be there, but I actually encourage this challenge. I thought it added a lot to the game, made it more fun, and gave Pikmin its own distinct style. Instead of just exploring the whole world, you're exploring the world with a purpose, something that encourages you to play a little bit better. You can multiply these Pikmin by not only bringing back the pellets, but by bringing back enemies as well. You can only have 100 Pikmin on the field at once, however. The rest just stay in the onion. The Pikmin are joyous creatures. They're fun and enjoyable with a hint of being mysterious as well, because they don't talk or anything. Soon, Olimar discovers the other types of Pikmin living on the planet. These are yellow Pikmin and blue Pikmin. These are the 3 types of Pikmin in the game, and the system for them works great. Red Pikmin can go through the fire and the flames, and can also attack with more damage. Blue Pikmin can go through water, and yellow Pikmin are as useful as my left shoe in this game. They do throw higher due to their ears and can hold bomb rocks, but that's about it. They're definitely the most situational out of all the Pikmin. They can be annoying. Separating them with the X button does pose frustrations, and it can be hard to grab a particular color, especially in tight spaces. They also do trip, they can be kind of clumsy sometimes. You can also upgrade your Pikmin by either leaving them in the ground or by giving them this yellow goop called nectar. The flowers on their head mean that they work more efficiently, quicker and faster. I thought the Pikmin were very versatile in what they could do and how they could interact with the world. They can destroy walls, build bridges, the whole kit and caboodle. Never did I find my time with a Pikmin growing stale. There was always something new to do and new to discover. The Pikmin aren't the only interesting character, but Olimar himself is quite fascinating. Throughout the game, we get to see more of his journal writings detailing the world around him, his interactions with the Pikmin, and his opinions on the missing ship parts. I have to say, while playing this game, Olimar did become one of my favorite Nintendo characters up to this point. It's a guy who's trying to survive and trying to get by. In turn, you learn about his family, his situation, and his thoughts on the world surrounding him, and I thought this was very clever. It gave the character so much depth and meaning behind him. Going back to the enemies, there's a good mix of them in this game. There's the basic ones, such as Bulborbs, but then there are some that are just plain annoying. The Wollywogs are vicious. A fight with one can take a good few minutes out of your day. The Sheargrubs are also pretty annoying, since they gang up on you when you're trying to build a bridge or take down a wall. The enemy design was always clever though, and never felt stale. No 2 enemies felt alike, well, except for the ones that are literally skins of each other, but, you know, besides that. There are also a wide assortment of bosses in the game, and none of them felt necessarily unfair, but still challenging. Every enemy has a weak spot, and it's up to you, the player, to discover it and exploit it, like this boss fight here. There's even some optional boss fights in the game, 3 to be exact, which I thought were really awesome. Not the actual fights, since 2 of them were easy and the rewards weren't more so that they added whole new enemies that you may not even see in a playthrough. The Smoky Prog is the hardest of these guys, the hardest of the game downright, and to be honest, I did not like this boss fight. There's no real weakness for taking him down, and he just outright murders a lot of your Pikmin. But again, optional. I do have to say there was one major negative with fighting the enemies. Sometimes when you were fighting them, your Pikmin would clip out of bounds, thus killing them. The same thing would happen if they were under a bridge when it was completed. Look at this fight, for example. I didn't lose any to the enemy, but what? I lost like 20 Pikmins just from this crushing glitch. It's disappointing in my opinion. For one, they didn't bother to fix this in the Wii release, and two, it makes no-death runs in this game close to impossible. Like I mentioned earlier, the game runs on a 13-minute time limit per day. At the end of the day, it's up to you to wrangle all your Pikmin together so none of them get left behind to the dark of the night. The Pikmin in your base will be safe, which is nice, but any of them left in the field are as good as gone. I like this aspect of the game. It added an extra level of challenge to it, as you couldn't just leave Pikmin nilly-willy throughout the field, and truly added another layer of strategy to it. Some of the ship parts you collect are optional, so you don't have to collect all 30. You don't even have to go to the final area if you don't want to. As I mentioned earlier, you have 30 days to collect the ship parts. If you don't collect all the ship parts, Olimar will try to fly away and you get the bad ending, where he basically explodes on the way up and gets turned into a Pikmin. This ending is so cruel. I couldn't believe my eyes when I first saw it. This is one of the first Nintendo games, at least in the modern era, where you die, you go all the way back. Sure, in the Wii version there's the save states, but I think this is a very cool idea that adds a layer of challenge to the game. Most Nintendo games nowadays are pretty easy. This game can actually be quite difficult if you mess around, so it's important to get on task. Another criticism of this game is that there really aren't that many levels. To be exact, there's 5. However, 2 of the levels are extremely small, containing only 1 ship part each. The other levels are packed to the brim with ship parts to collect, however. There's never a lack of them, and it makes each 13-minute day feel worth it. The final level, the final trial, was a pretty clever level that used all 3 types of Pikmin to culminate your skills learned throughout the game to approach the final boss, which was, okay. I didn't like the main idea of attacking him. You were supposed to use yellow Pikmin to have him eat bombs, but this never really works for me. This could be my fault, maybe not a flaw with the game itself, I just suck. Graphically, this game not only is great, but holds up well for a game that was released nearly 2 decades ago. Wow, I'm getting old. It's calming. This is graphically a very pretty game, and impressive for a GameCube game. The Pikmin and the other models look pretty solid, and overall, while it has aged slightly, it's a damn good looking title. Musically, the game shines as well. It's calming. I actually listen to the game's official soundtrack before sleeping sometimes, or after a long day. It fits the tone of the game very perfectly. I love the choices for the more ambient style songs in the game. It really makes Pikmin what it is and adds a level of charm to it. Pikmin for the Wii and GameCube is a fantastic game. While it does have its shortcomings, some glitches, and some problems, I think overall this is a very solid game that introduces the franchise in a great way. It may even be the best Pikmin game. I would love to see a Breath of the Wild take on Pikmin that completely revitalizes the franchise in a certain way. Next time we review a game, it's going to be Pikmin 2. We're going to see if Pikmin 2 is better or worse than the original Pikmin game. Sequels are never as good. It's always one or the other. You know, I'm really bad at endings. I'm just going to say that. That's why every one of my videos, you know what, screw it.